Hey friends, I lots going on. Lots going on. I finished a song yesterday, and it was a wild ride. It was a wild ride. I have to say, it was one of those things where, because of the time pressure involved, I sort of knew I can't force this. And I also knew I can't relax. I have to get up in the morning, do a little yoga, came straight to my desk. Stood at my desk until 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon without eating a single bite of food, just letting. And luckily, sometimes that doesn't work, but I did find, it's so interesting to revisit this space, to come back into this space again after what feels like a little bit of a time away, and to be reminded, oh, right, I know exactly how this works. I know exactly how this works. It's attention. It's like meditation. In the same way that in meditation, we are endeavoring to keep our mind on the mantra, on the breath, on consciousness itself, whatever the object of meditation is. There's a practice there. And the practice is to keep our mind on that thing. Creative practice is exactly the same. We keep our mind, our intention, focused on a particular thing. And when we can do that successfully, it's like then the art can happen. Then the thing that wants to come through us can come through us. Or in the case of meditation, that's the experience that maybe some of you have had, where it's like you don't feel like you are meditating, you feel like you are being meditated. Same kind of thing with creative practice. There's just an activity involved, whereas in meditation, it's usually stillness. That doesn't mean there's not a lot of activity internally, but it's ultimately it's almost the same skill. It's almost the same exact skill. Can we keep our focus? Can we hold something in our mind for long enough to let it bear fruit? And having done so successfully now is really interesting. I had a little bit of a moment as I was going into this where I was like, I don't know if I have enough time. I had some doubt. And I recognized it as doubt. That was the first step towards moving through it, was seeing, okay, that's what that is. It's not anything else. And then there was this voice in my head that said, Robin, if you can do this, you can do anything. I didn't say that on purpose internally. It's not like, that was just like a little voice that chimed in. Now, you never know. The voices in your head, you never know whether to trust them. But this one certainly certainly was like, okay, you bite this off. You pull this off. going to let you know that you can do something when it's important to you. And I played the song for Katie last night. I was greatly relieved because at that point I didn't know what I had. I never quite know what I have till I play it for Katie. Sometimes I do. And I had a sense of this. I had kind of a sense. I was like, I was pretty confident, but you kind of never know. I've also had the experience of writing things and then, the audience reflection really modifies them, really shows me, oh, this is saying something else, something other than what I thought it was or whatever. Had that one too. But my larger sort of takeaway from all this and the deeper insight is this is what I've got to make the highest priority in my life. What else? I think I talked about the same thing yesterday. What else? Nothing else creates that sense of flow, that sense of energy, that sense of empowerment. It's like knowing Hafiz, the poet Hafiz, has this great poem called The Vintage Man. And it's a poem about how our mind will often try to step in and critique what we're doing. He's talking in the poem, he's talking about artists. He's talking about a master artist versus a novice artist. I could almost recite the poem for you, but I'm not sure I could get it quite right. But anyway, what he describes as the distinction between a master and a novice is that the novice helplessly picks up a hammer on the mind's table, he calls it, and begins to smash the easels and jade. Whereas the vintage man, it's the title of the poem, never harms himself nor anyone and simply keeps on sculpting light. And sculpting light as an image has always stuck with me. It's just always been, for me, one of the most beautiful ways of describing artistic practice. Because a poet is sculpting light. Ultimately, we're all sculpting light. We're creating reality out of energy. And when we recall that, that sounds kind of woo-woo if you just say it and ignore it, or if you act like that's somehow far-fetched, or that somehow doesn't capture real reality. But that is actually literally what's happening all the time. And if we are not connected to that, then that's kind of a shame, because we have the opportunity to be connected to that all the time. And I think that's what's affecting me so powerfully about having kind of plunged back into an intense period of creative work, is that, oh my God, it's like my body changes, my mind relaxes, my energy is better. I don't need as much sleep. It's incredible. It's incredible. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for where I am today. And I'm grateful for this reminder. I'm going to put this much more centrally located in my life. There may be some planning there. There may be some necessary. Like there may be some like, okay, nothing like a deadline. But, you know, if this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. So that's where I am today, people. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.